Hello class. I am going to do a video to explain what my case study was on. I feel like it's a little bit more personal, so then that way I can be able to read from some of it and give you guys a gist of what's going on and add a little story at the end. The case study that I chose was the effects of social media on teenagers. This day and age in 2023, we are now seeing more and more effects negatively on our youth and our teenagers because they all have access to some type of phone or computer or tablet or some type of device. It's causing body dysmorphia, which is causing the eating disorders because they're online comparing themselves. The suicide rate has gone up significantly. They are a lot irritable. There are more things such as depression and other mental health struggles that they are struggling with. A lot of times their grades are declining because they're not getting enough rest. They're not getting enough sleep. They are busy competing with people that they don't know. Spaces where there is bullying instead of entertainment has now become a big thing, which is resulting in kids hurting or harming themselves, or people making it seem as if this is something that is susceptible for them to be able to do. The age group that seems to be affected by what's going on the most are the teens ranging from the age 12 to 18. The economical background varies because most of, if not all, families have access to some internet and a social media platform. Depression, anxiety, eating disorders, and body dysmorphia, to name a few, are among the leading cases of mental health disorders that teens are facing, which can be caused by cyberbullying and lack of supervision. I wanted to discuss ways that parents can be proactive and know what the signs are and what exactly to look for when it comes to warning signs. So, one of the things, the effects of social media on young people are widely acknowledged. It is believed that the neurodevelopment of children and young adults is affected using social media. During this period, the brain is open to learning and growing. According to advisory of the Surgeon General, teens may have also developed a sense of sensitivity due to the nature of social media. Young people's development also involves various processes such as the changes that they undergo and their psychological and emotional responsibility. These changes can affect their identities as well as their relationships. Because of this effects of social media, it can be seen during this phase that warrants attention. Around 2/3 of adolescents are regularly or sometimes exposed to hate-based content on social media. So I created an action plan, and in my action plan, the objective was make parents aware of the effects of too much social media. Cyberbullying, spread of misinformation, addiction, and decline of face-to-face communication, and self-esteem issues. So with the cyberbullying, individuals can now bully others using social media with them not knowing where it comes with or who it's coming from. And they can harass others online and carry out threats without repercussions. Victims of cyberbullying may experience severe emotional distress, low self-esteem, or even a tendency of suicide, which is what I really wanted to touch base with you all on. The spread of misinformation, the spread of rumors or fake news on social media has become a growing concern. Misinformation can lead to confusion and distrust, and it also can affect the public's confidence in the political process or its institutions. Addiction. Many people are afflicted by social media addiction. They easily can access social media platforms and apps that led to many individuals spending a lot of time online, which can negatively affect their productivity and lead to depression and anxiety. So because we're not going outside or playing sports or doing as much due to the pandemic, in general at first, these things now are causing addiction, and it can lead to depression and anxiety. So the lack of face-to-face communication is one of the things also. So the task that we're looking to do is to reduce the amount of social media, as well as discussing with your teens and noticing the changes in their mood. There are also other things such as there are apps in schools. I know, for instance, where I teach, we use an app called Go Guardian, and that looks at what the kids are accessing. It shuts down things, it bans certain websites, and it also allows for them to, if it's not that time for them to be on that particular platform, then it won't allow them to go on that platform. There are some for parents that can use it. It's Bark and other apps that will allow for them to be able to monitor and block certain sites, if you are able to do that with your teen without them still being able to get past them or block them. The outcome, teens will gain, the goal for this is teens will gain knowledge to inform someone or themselves if they are negatively affected by the effects of social media. They will be able to reach out to someone that they trust. Teens will be able to establish boundaries so that both online and online activities are balanced. I introduced something that I like to call office hours. So those are the times that they're are allowed to be on social media, and once those are done, or social media on their phone, and once those are done, then it gets cut off. Just like when we leave our office and go home, that work should be done and cut off for that time. So we have to start setting better examples with our teens and youth to show them that there should be a work balance and a time for everything else. So altogether, I just wanted to bring awareness because there's been news reports after news reports. I'm currently in a district where parents are trying to sue social media platforms and things of that nature because kids have access to the account and it's not being limited, and it's really causing a big thing. I had a colleague of mine tell me that she took her child's phone because it was part of their punishment, but she noticed that her child's grades went up during the time that she took the phone. She also noticed that the child, the bags under her child's eyes were gone. The child was not fidgety and was not irritated easily because they had proper and adequate rest. So when she was able to get her phone back, her and her child sat down to be able to discuss what were the ways that they could be able to do something to make this work all across the board. So they created their own action plan, which I found phenomenal because the child participated in what they thought would be reasonable. So it was something that was reasonable all across the board for everyone, that they would only use their phone during a certain time. They would not use it at dinner time. They would only spend a certain amount of time on it, and then it gets cut off for them to be able to do something else. They wouldn't switch from phone to tablet, and then that's how they made the balance. So I think talking to your youth about that, and even talking with your own self, because it's affecting youth, but it's also affecting, adults as well. You can't do things, you feel like you can't do things without your phone, or you're not plugged into the outside world, and then before you know it, you've been scrolling on your phone for a few hours, gone down a rabbit hole. So we want to start setting better examples for children. So in conclusion, if we all band together to be the example that we want to see, then hopefully it transfers to our youth. because I remember a time where I went outside and played, and I did things, and I hung out with my friends, and we were not on phones. So I would like to bring awareness to that. Sometimes the moodiness and those switching may be due to something that your child has seen online, something that is affecting them, and they're not sure how to process it. So you should be able to talk to them about maybe some of the things that they are seeing, or to see how they feel about it. How does that make them feel? Because they might not know how to process it, where they might see a model and now they assume that this is the only life that they have and they should be a model, and now they want to be skinny, and so now we're suffering from an eating disorder. So thank you very much for taking the time out to listen. I appreciate it. Thank you.